higher ed organizations require different functionality than your K-12. So which are the top 10 higher ed CRMs in 2024? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. So let's dive in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I'm principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP, CRM, and digital transformation consulting firm. We help our customers with digital transformation strategy, CRM selection, implementation, as well as change management. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be top 10 higher ed CRMs in 2024. Before we look at the list, let's define what is considered higher ed and what kind of organizations are included as part of this list. So in general, this is going to be of all sizes, any of the universities, any of the higher ed education institutes that are going to have the higher ed business model. We consider them as part of this list. For the CRM bucket, we are considering all of different touch points, any of the customer channels that you are going to have. We consider all of them. Some of the unique capabilities that you are going to require from the higher ed perspective is going to be your alumni relationship management, student prospect engagement management, as well as teacher relationship management. All of these capabilities are going to be fairly unique compared to what you're going to find with the generalized CRMs. So that's why CRMs designed for this space are going to be fairly unique. In general, the criteria that we consider to compile this list is product share, acquisition strategy, focused on higher ed institutes. In general, if these companies are acquiring a lot of capabilities that are going to be relevant to higher ed, they generally require this list. Then you are going to have product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, technology, strategy, as well as investors. So all of these vectors we consider to compile this list. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Oracle CX Cloud. And Oracle CX Cloud is a very enterprise grade system. They have a very large market share in general in the higher ed space with very large universities. They have been very successful because of the kind of transactional workload that you are going to require. Systems such as your Oracle CX Cloud are probably the only few ones that are able to handle that kind of workload. So the other strengths that you're looking at from the Oracle CX Cloud perspective is that not only the transactional capabilities, the operational capabilities that you're going to require with your CRM, Oracle CX Cloud also has the marketing automation product that is included as part of the suite. That marketing automation product is fairly enterprise grade. So if you are going to have any of those workflows, that is going to be included as part of the Oracle CX Cloud. And then any of the not-for-profit centric scenarios, whether you are looking at grant and fund reporting, all of that is going to be possible using Oracle CX Cloud. Some of the other products that might not be designed to accommodate all those not-for-profit workflows or slightly more diverse industry workflows, though then they might run into challenges. And that's where Oracle CX Cloud can accommodate a lot more diverse business models in general. The final strength that we have from the Oracle CX Cloud perspective is the student cloud, which is going to be your student information management. In general, in the higher ed space, you are going to have a lot more overlap with the student information management as well as the CRM. So these workflows are going to be intertwined with your Oracle CX Cloud. Some of the other limitations that we have from the Oracle CX Cloud perspective is the upstream marketing integration as well as ecosystems. So the kind of options that you're going to find, let's say in the HubSpot ecosystem, those might not be available with Oracle CX Cloud. They might not be as integrated when you are going to go for things such as your call center vendors or telecom vendors or the data vendors. They might not be as well integrated as you are going to find the systems such as your HubSpot. And in general, since this is a very enterprise grade system, so you are going to have a lot more layers, and those layers generally increase the implementation cost as well as the consulting cost. So it's going to be very expensive to implement in general. Then just because of these layers, you are also going to have very steep learning curve. So these are some of the limitations that you need to keep in mind, and that's number 10. Now, number 9 on our list is HubSpot CRM. And HubSpot CRM is going to be relevant for educational institute, higher ed, that are going to require a lot more capabilities from the CMS perspective, as well as from the upstream marketing perspective. So if your goal is to enable that whole recruitment engagement process with the prospective students, that's where your HubSpot CRM is probably going to be a superior fit. It might not be as great fit for the transactional operational workflows just because of their data model, the limitations that they have in their data model. Some of the other strengths that you are looking at from the HubSpot perspective is the whole CMS layer is built as part of the platform. So if you're looking for that omni-channel traceability, tracking all of different channels where your students or any of the customers might be coming from, those could be your website, your email, text, etc. Those channels can be easily tracked, and you can have that customer 360 with HubSpot CRM. It's much easier to implement compared to other systems. Even if you look at some of the enterprise grade systems such as your Salesforce or Microsoft with HubSpot, the whole omni-channel workflow is going to be far easier to implement. The ecosystem and integration, you have a lot more options in general. Those integrations as well as the ecosystem options that you have, they might not be as tailored for your higher educational institute, but you have a lot of options in general in their ecosystem. It's very prevalent in general. Now, the technology is very cloud native. Compared to some of the other legacy systems on this list, then you can expect any of the cloud native features such as your enterprise search, mobility, etc. They are going to be far easier with HubSpot. Some of the limitations to keep in mind are going to be their custom objects. They are fairly limited compared to the core objects. So the customizability is going to be a challenge in general with HubSpot. The kind of workflow triggers that they have with the custom objects, they are going to be not as detailed. And because of that, you are going to run into a lot of challenges. And in general, for higher educational institutes, when you look at capabilities such as your alumni relationship management, or teacher workflows. These are very unique workflows. For that, you would require substantial customizability, and that's where you are probably going to run into challenges with HubSpot. And overall, core objects have far more capabilities, but even they have limitations in terms of renaming them, etc. So those are going to be some of the challenges that we need to keep in mind, and that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Blackboard CRM. And Blackboard CRM would fall under that prescriptive category that we generally talk about. So from the Blackboard CRM perspective is that they are going to have a lot more capabilities pre-baked, pre-built as part of the suite. And because of that, your implementation is going to be cheaper and faster. You don't have to build, test, configure these capabilities again. And those are going to be proven with a lot of different institutes. So you are going to save a lot of money. In general, the learning is going to be much easier. You are not going to have as much steep learning curve because the functionality is going to be far more tailored for your organization. Some of the other strengths that we have, Blackboard, is the not-for-profit capabilities are going to be pre-baked as part of the suite, as well as integration with Microsoft Power Platform. So if you are going to have any sort of ad hoc workflows, and in general with the educational institutes, they are going to have a lot more ad hoc workflows. These processes are not as standardized, formalized. They keep changing all the time. And with the help of Power Platform, you can easily customize a change without requiring developer help or consulting help. So that's a huge plus for Blackboard CRM. The limitations that you're looking at from the Blackboard CRM perspective is the overall scalability and customizability. So if you have the workflows that are going to be one-to-one with the way Blackboard is providing, then it's great. But I mean, if you're going to have any more features that you're going to require, then it might not be as easy to be able to customize within Blackboard CRM in general. The technology is slightly behind. So this is a legacy provider, even though they are very well proven in the higher ed space. but their on-prem version is proven, which is far richer than their cloud version. So you are going to find discrepancies there. In the demo, during the demo, they might show the cloud version, they might not show the on-prem version. But when you are going to require any sort of advanced capabilities, then you need to move to your desktop version or the on-prem version, which is not going to be as friendly from the technology perspective. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Lead Squared. And Lead Squared is a very prescriptive system as well. It's been proven with very large higher ed institutes. The strengths that we're looking at from the Lead Squared perspective is this is going to be slightly more customizable since this is an enterprise grade system. But again, it's not going to be as customizable as some of the generalized CRM. For example, let's say if you look at Oracle CX Cloud, that is going to be slightly more customizable in general. And then you have the whole student information management platform that is provided as part of the suite itself, and that is going to have much more overlap in general with the higher ed institutes. So that's going to be a huge plus that these workflows are sort of immersed together, so you can take advantage of that. And in general, the higher ed institutes are going to require that, so that's a huge plus for Lead Squared. Some of the other limitations that you are looking at from the Lead Squared perspective is the security layers that you're going to have are going to be slightly limited. So if you require different workflows to be able to enable, okay, which student is going to see what do you need to enable for the parents? So you are going to have some options, but those layers are not going to be as detailed as you are going to find with some of the other systems on this list. The technology is slightly legacy, so that's why you are going to find issues with the portal stability. For example, let's say if you compare this with your Blackboard CRM, they are exposing the whole Microsoft Power Platform, so the experience is going to be far richer in general. Here, the portals are provided by Lead Squared, so the technology is not going to be as rich, and some of the users have reported issues with that. So that is another limitation that you might want to keep in mind. And again, Lead Squared is not as adopted as the mainstream CRM, even though they have a lot more logos in general with the higher ed institutes. So that's another limitation that you have with Lead Squared, and that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is Anthology Reach, and which is the Campus Nexus system. So Anthology Reach, and this is the new name for Campus Nexus, they have the student information management system, and now they also have a little CRM capabilities there. So in general, whenever any of the prescriptive systems are providing these capabilities, they are very well proven in the higher ed space. So now they are expanding their capabilities through acquisition, or they may have developed their own capabilities. So one of the advantages that you are going to get with them is they are going to be far richer in general in that SIS layer. And then finally, they are incorporating these capabilities from the reach perspective as well. So the other strength that you have from the Anthology Reach perspective is it's going to be flexible. It's going to be pre-integrated with the Campus Nexus SIS. And because of that, you don't have to invest as much in the consulting, integration, development, etc. So that's a huge plus. And then you have newer business models or the features. For example, let's say if you're looking to implement features such as your tele counseling, those features might be much harder to implement with slightly more generalized CRMs. So they are going to be available with this. Now, the limitations that you are going to run into with Anthology Reach is it's slightly more legacy overall from the technology perspective. So the experience is not going to be as rich in general. And then some of the users have also reported issues with their mail merges. So that's going to be a negative. In general, the templates are not going to be as friendly. So that's going to be a negative there with Anthology Reach. And it's not necessarily a real CRM. It's kind of an add-on on the SIS system. So if you're looking for full-blown CRM capabilities, then you need to go for slightly more mainstream CRM. Having said that, Anthology Reach could be a great fit for companies that might already be on Campus Nexus SIS system, and that's number 6. Now, number 5 on our list is Illusion CRM, and this is very similar to your Anthology Reach. They are also in that SIS market space. This is also going to be slightly more add-on to their SIS system. So in this particular case, this is going to be the banner system. Let's say if the higher eds might be using the banner SIS and they are looking for an integrated system that is going to have far more immersive embedded processes as part of your SIS, then that CRM could be a great fit. The other strength that you have from the Illusion perspective is the consolidated view from the global student recruitment. So if you care for the student 360 in the recruitment phase, then it might be much easier to be able to enable within this system. And then finally, some of the limitations that you have from the Illusion perspective is it's not going to be as diverse. So let's say if the higher ed institute has many different business models that they need to support as part of the same CRM, then you might require either other CRM installation, and those are not going to be connected, or you might need to go for slightly more generalized CRMs that might be able to accommodate many different business models, not just the educational business models. Some other limitations to keep in mind would be the customizability is going to be fairly limited because this is a prescriptive system, and then the reporting capabilities are going to be substantially limited as well. So those are some of the negatives for Illusion CRM, and that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Creatio. Creatio is a very unique category on this list. That is going to be slightly more technical system. So the workflows that you are going to find with, for example, let's say if you compare this with your Illusion CRM or Blackboard CRM, those systems are going to have much richer workflows that are going to be relevant for your higher ed. On Creatio, you are looking to enable all of these workflows yourself, which means that your consulting implementation budget is going to increase in general. The strengths that you are looking at from the Creatio perspective is the customizability for the unique flows. So all of those unique flows that you are going to require from the higher ed business model. But then let's say, for example, let's say you have the not-for-profit business model, or you are doing a little bit of construction real estate, and you need to accommodate all of these personas, and you need to integrate the data model, in one system. All of that may be possible using Creatio. With the prescriptive systems, they are not going to have. They might not be able to accommodate all of these personas as part of the same CRM. The integration and ecosystem options are going to be far richer in general, but they might not be as tailored for the higher ed, but you have a lot of options in general in their ecosystem. And then if you care for the infrastructure cost, or you need to keep your infrastructure in a certain region or in a given country, then you might require the deployment flexibility. With Creatio, you are going to have that. With some of the other public cloud options, you might not have that. The limitations that you have from the Creatio perspective is any of the tailored workflows, for example, alumni relations, student prospect management, or teacher management. All of those workflows are going to be much easier to implement and much easier to customize as per your requirements on Creatio compared to other platforms that we have on this list. The technology is going to be slightly more on a legacy side, so the experience might not be as rich as what you are going to find with the likes of Zoho CRM or HubSpot. So that's going to be a little negative for Creatio, and the marketing automation may not be as intuitive as you are going to find with the other systems. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Zoho CRM. And Zoho CRM is great for any of the higher ed institutes that are going to be slightly smaller in size. They might not be as big. And the reason for that is because of the connectivity of the databases of the apps that they have as part of their bucket. For example, let's say you have the sales app, you have project management app. All of these apps have their own sort of databases, and they can transport data, among those apps. But for the most part, the experience is not going to be as immersive, as embedded as you are going to find with slightly bigger system. For example, Microsoft or Salesforce, you are not going to find the same experience with Zoho CRM. That's why at the smaller scale, this might be okay, but for bigger institute, that might not be as great fit. Some of the other strengths that we have from the Zoho CRM perspective is the kind of limitations that you're going to find with, for example, systems such as your HubSpot. that your custom objects are going to be fairly limited. The kind of options that you have on those custom objects are going to be limited as well. But with Zoho CRM, you have far more flexibility with the custom objects, as well as they have ways of allowing you to create custom apps if you need to create as part of the package. And then they are combining a lot of capabilities as part of the same bundle, and the pricing is far more friendlier as well if you are going to require all of these apps for you. And in general, the smaller higher ed institutes are probably going to require a lot more of those capabilities. So that's a huge plus for Zoho CRM. In general, the customizability of the screens and layout, and that's going to be a huge need for the majority of the higher ed institutes. So that you have with Zoho CRM. Some of the other limitations to keep in mind is going to be that the CMS is not going to be as robust as what you are going to find with the systems such as your HubSpot. So if you care for those upstream marketing centric workflows, then Zoho CRM might not be the best fit. And then the communication among different data centers. So if you're looking to consolidate all of your global workloads, let's say if you are going to be present in multiple countries, and if you're looking for that student 360 across those countries, then Zoho CRM might not be the best fit because their data centers are fairly siloed. They are not designed to communicate with each other. So if that's going to be a need, then you might need to go for slightly larger systems. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps, and the older version of this was Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement. They have restructured, reorganized, they are licensing their portfolio. So now they are called Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps. They have many different apps as part of their portfolio. For example, Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales, call center, customer insights. All of those are probably going to be relevant from the higher ed perspective. They are very well proven in general in the higher ed space because of the customizability. In general, the customizability is probably going to be a requirement for the majority of the higher ed institutes, and that's why Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps is far more proven in this particular space. Then some of the other strengths that you're looking at from the Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps perspective is some of the pre-built options. You are going to find them as part of the Microsoft ecosystem, so you don't need to invest as much in the consulting budget, but then you are acquiring these capabilities from the third-party vendors, so you are going to increase your vendor risk, the technical project risk, implementation risk. So that's going to be a little negative, for Microsoft. But the you are going to find a lot more integrations as well as the ecosystem options. So that's a huge plus in general, that you are probably not going to run into challenges. Let's say tomorrow, if you want to acquire more capabilities, or you need to accommodate many different business models as part of the same product suite, then that's going to be a huge plus for Microsoft. Some of the limitations to keep in mind is the marketing automation and the CMS capabilities. They are not going to be as immersive, as embedded as you are going to find with some of the other products. And then the consulting help is going to be fairly expensive. You are also going to have very steep learning curve because this is going to be slightly more enterprise grade system. So those are some of the limitations, and that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Salesforce Education. And Salesforce Education is a very enterprise grade platform, and they have been proven with a lot of different universities and higher education institutes. Some of the strengths to keep in mind with Salesforce is going to be that they have a lot more service packs, and those service packs are provided by Salesforce. So even though they are going to be fairly limiting in general, but at least you are getting them from Salesforce. So you are not going to have the same vendor risk, the technical risk that you are going to find with Microsoft. Salesforce is also highly customizable in general. It's a very enterprise grade platform. So if you're going to have any of those enterprise scenarios, for example, let's say if you need to enable many different layers from the workflow security perspective, and that is probably going to be a need for a lot of higher ed institutes So you are going to have a lot more layers in general with Salesforce education. And then some of the community centric capabilities are very enterprise grade as well. If you are trying to enable these communities for your students, alumni, and you need to have very complex workflows to enable that is all possible with Salesforce. Some of the other prescriptive systems, they might claim that they have these community centric capabilities, but in general, their portals are going to be fairly clunky. With this, you are going to find the real experience from the community perspective. If you care for that, then Salesforce would be a great system for you. Some of the limitations to keep in mind are going to be the marketing automation product is not as immersive, it's not as embedded. You are probably going to require an add-on for that. The CMS add-on, the website integration is not going to be again as embedded as you are going to find with some of the other systems. And then finally, since this is the enterprise grade system, in general, the consulting cost and the learning curve is going to be fairly steep. So that's number one. If you enjoyed this video, we publish these videos on a weekly basis, so you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This podcast is also available in the audio form on major podcasting channels, so you might want to head there and subscribe if you don't want to miss these episodes. We are also going to link a detailed article that is going to have much deeper insights, so you might want to check that. Finally, if you have not checked our digital transformation report for 2024, we have much deeper insights in that, so we are going to link that as well. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.